Are we recording? As I was saying, we have to save the universe and free it from the forces of evil.
We want to touch some important themes, like, for example, the universe. What are we doing here? How big is the universe? What can we find out there? What is happening beyond the observable universe? That type of mysteries, that's one of the things that I want to put into the story. These regular guys that just want to eat tacos, that just want to do their jobs and, have free time to play video games. Now you have to save the universe. I'm sorry, the tacos are for another day. You have to face the thespians, travel, and save the universe.
Kept you waiting, huh? Why would anyone want to send so many chickens through the Starspire cluster? Why should I feed them before midnight? And most importantly, where's my taco? Could all this have multiversal quantum consequences? Guess we'll have to find out.
Hey everybody, Jon Ray here, project lead for TRESR, and I've got an exciting partnership that we are announcing today. We've got the founders of Another Space Odyssey, really cool NFT project here on AVAX, building something real and a storyline that I think you're going to really love. They are producing a physical and digital comic and a whole world and universe around that. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce these guys and we'll talk a little bit about the project, what the partnership with TRESR looks like, some of the really cool merchandise and physical items that will be coming out. So Chicken Lord, Gemini, how we doing?
How are you?
Yeah, really, I think it would be cool for our community to just learn a little bit about what is Another Space Odyssey from your perspective and what is your role in the project. And then I've got a laundry list of things that I want to talk to you about to get the TRESR community engaged and really to help your community understand what this partnership looks like and how we plan on bridging Another Space Odyssey into the real world. So Chicken Lord, let's start with you. Who are you? What's your role? What is Another Space Odyssey? And then we'll jump over to Gem.
Awesome. Thank you. First of all, thank you for this space. I am a concept artist and illustrator since all my life. So a couple of years ago, I started being on the blockchain and participating in different NFT projects. Different ideas start coming to my mind about what can I do with my skills to develop something interesting, to develop something fun for me and for the community. Since I am a comic artist too, I decided that it was the logic approach to me to try to put some of my skills there. So the next step was to think about a story that could fit into the Web3. So for me, the space theme was an obvious path. So after that, I started thinking about the different type of characters that I wanted to have there, sort of in a certain way. What type of archetypes are always on the space movies, on the space comics? So it's always the pilot, the mechanic, the co-pilot, the droid. So that start was very easy. And when I got inspiration regarding the style from Adventure Time, that style, and all the Cartoon Network style. And after that, I take a lot of inspiration from Futurama, the Matt Groening animated series that has like a similar concept. There are a crew that has to do all their adventures through the galaxy, and they are very fun. And I wanted to have a very tight group of characters to put them all inside that ship, and well, throwing them into the space to obviously have to save the space, save the universe.
Absolutely, man. And Gem, when you found out that these characters were saving the universe, how did you join the project? What has your role been, and what is your hope for the community?
Me and Chicken Lord got connected in this space by fate, like you can call it. He approached me with this project, and as soon as he sent me some pictures of the art that he was doing, and I had a phone call with him, and yeah, I was just wow. Like the passion behind it and the skill behind what he's doing is incredible. There's projects all out there that are doing things, and there's AI generated artwork, and then he was showing me the work that he was doing, and I was just hooked from it. I was like, this is so cool. And I could feel the passion in his voice and in his work, and I could see all the effort that he's put into it. And this was probably like going on nearly 3 years ago, we had that first conversation. So it's just been me and him since then, just within our lives, working away, trying to make this a reality and bring it to life. And we're getting there. The first stage was getting the launch going, and we did that. And now ASO's out there in the world. Now it's getting the fun stuff out there. So Chicken Lord's whilst he's been busy drawing and creating the comic, and yeah, smoke coming out of his ears with that, I've been just building the community, connecting with different projects, trying to find the best way to display and showcase his work. That's basically what my role is, just display the magic that Chicken Lord is creating, and also bring people and communities together. And it just seems to be AVAX was the chain it just worked for us. We had a partnership that works well with Lab 91, and that was how we got into AVAX, and there you go. And yeah, just with the transaction fees and stuff, it was the right chain. So we're trying to bring and build communities together, work on a synergy, and yeah, just see how we can launch projects that are just a little bit different. I don't think what ASO is being done before. Yeah, there's been comic projects, but what ASO is it's got more layers to it, which we can go into a bit later on.
Yeah, I think that's right. Everything that I've seen so far is visually stunning, and I know that's under the visual guidance of Chicken Lord, but really you've brought all of those elements together where the website looks great, the digital comment looks great, each of the NFT characters and the traits has this certain uniqueness to it. And I think that it's important to recognize that comics before NFTs, before crypto, were a booming business and still are. There's a comic book store here in Austin that I go to called Dragon's Lair, and I love talking to people where they're pulling out a new edition of whatever comic that they're into, because these things are franchises. People have been involved in the lore of these comics for years and years, and they have communities around it, and it really becomes a part of their life. And the intellectual property management of a comic book series is something that I think is perfectly suited for this new domain of Web3. And when we first met, Chicken Lord, you were telling me about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the origin story of that, and how small it started and as it turned into this international brand. Will you tell me a little bit more about what that looked like for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and how that inspired what you're wanting to do with Another Space Odyssey?
First of all, I am a big kid. I never stop playing with toys. Drawing is similar to play with toys because you have to decide what to do with your character, what this character tells to the others, if they fight, how is the fight. So that is the very fun part. But regarding the Ninja Turtles, that I am a big fan since all my life, these two guys were a regular Friday taking a beer and just drawing without internet, without Instagram, without a lot of stuff that we have now. They were playing around and they were like joking with different concepts. And I do not remember the names of the creators right now, but one of them drew Ninja Turtles because it's a very strange concept. The slowest animal and the fastest of the assassins. It's surreal. They laugh about it. They drew like a simple sketch. And the next day, one of them that this is special, this is unique. Let's do a comic book. And they did the first issue of the Ninja Turtles, started there and ended there. Shredder was killed at the end. That's it. There was no more story around it, like what you could see on the animated series or on the modern comics. It was black and white. All the Ninja Turtles had a red bandana. There was no different color for them. So they borrowed some money to print a couple of issues of this comic that they built. So it became a regional success. They became like a regional famous, and they managed to return what they borrowed and print a lot of more. So they became to be more on the comic space. And sooner than later, they get in touch with, I guess, I'm not sure, someone from the toy industry. And they show what these guys built, and they approached to them and asked them if they wanted to join them. I do not know if it was Nickelodeon from the start or which toy company it was. So what the company asked them was to make them a little less violent because the original comic was very violent. And they asked them to put different traits on the Ninja Turtles. So they use not just the weapons, but the colors. And the rest is history. What is the best way to market all the toys? Let's do a comic. Let's do a animated series that all of us saw at some point of our life. So I think at this point they have 5 different comic series about, I don't know, 5 different movies, infinite amount of merchandising and toys. They are not like Batman, that is the most strong IP in the world. Batman is so strong that not even all the Avengers are so strong as Batman. But I know that the Ninja Turtles will have a soon rebirth. There are new issues, there are new comics that are coming out. The last running in which all the Ninja Turtles are dead and just one of them is alive. It's a very sad story, but at the same time, that brutal aspect makes you want to know what happened. So that is something that we are also trying to put into Another Space Odyssey. It's very fun, it's very nice, but we want to touch some themes, some important themes, like, for example, the universe. What are we doing here? How big is the universe? What can we find out there? What is happening beyond the observable universe? That kind of mysteries that makes you feel very small. We are less than ants in a raft. We are in a small stone surrounded by void, and that's very scary. And that's one of the things that I want to put into the story. These regular guys that just want to eat tacos, that just want to do their jobs and have free time to play video games. Now you have to save the universe. I'm sorry, the tacos are for another day. You have to face the thespians, travel, and save the universe.
Yeah, I love all of the deep storytelling that's gone into how the characters get presented into the comic. And I'm curious, have you always been somebody that was curious about the universe and the multiverse or these different dimensions? Like how did that curiosity show up in your artwork? And is it something where you found answers to that and now you're portraying it in the art, or is the art part of your process for exploring that concept?
I am an astrophysics fan. I do not do calculations or whatever, but I like the theoretic part of the explanation of what is a black hole, what is the black matter, what is the antimatter. So I really love that stuff. And I also a big fan of cosmic horror, H.P. Lovecraft, movies like The Void or Alien, that the horror came from the unknown more than a specific monster. So I think that the space with all those mysteries, it's the perfect scenario to put these characters and face intergalactic chicken that has special powers and crazy stuff like that. But try to bring these themes in a fun way. At some point, to your question, one of our community members asked me, "Oh, but you are a scientific or something?" And I was, "Oh no, I am just a fan of all these theories. I love them. I love how they can be adapted to a script format, how these strange phenomena will give you tons of different scenarios in which your characters can develop and basically face strange forces and strange situations."
Yeah, it's in NFTs just as a concept, especially like a larger generative collection, it just lends itself to the multiverse already because you have a bunch of the same character, but one thing has changed. So, like they're wearing a hat in this universe, they're wearing a purple scarf in this universe, and it kind of just naturally fits in there. Jem, I'm curious, as you work with the community, like what does an ideal community member look like, and what are you hoping to inspire within the community?
Ideal community member. It's a good question. I can only speak of what we've got so far because honestly, the ASO community is incredible. They're very invested in the artwork. They see the passion behind what Chicken Lord's doing. They enjoy the storyline, the hooks to it, and it might be relatable to them. That's one of the reasons I liked it. We're fighting against the Despians to try and stop the loop, to try and protect the universe, to stop them exploiting and draining all the resources. So we have to come together and take on this mission. So that was a cool kind of storyline for me. So I think that's another thing the community enjoy. And also just the progression of it. It's not mainly focused on floor price, not focused on price action at all. There's more passion to it. There's more of a focus on watching it develop, seeing the partnerships form, seeing the team come together, bringing community members together. Yeah, so on top of that, the ideal community member would also then come together as a kind of a crew and as a team. We're all together. Myself and Chicken Lord are a small team, but with a strong community, that's how you really get more eyes on, and that's how you really, one by one, start attracting people that are actually interested in this project and interested in what we're building. And I'd much rather do it one by one and it take a longer time than just an influx of people, like you said, who are not really that invested in the potential of what we've got. And another thing is to see the longer term vision of what we're trying to achieve. Yeah, it might look like an NFT collection, it might look like a digital comic, but the potential of bridging from Web3 to Web2 is huge, and it's there as long as we keep building, as long as we keep connecting. And if the universe provides and we get that kind of opportunity, then who knows what could happen.
Yeah, I think you spoke perfectly to just how the type of community members that you're looking to attract. And just like any comic, people who are into comics, like when I go to my comic book store for one of the meet and greets that they have, a comic signing that they have with the artists there, it's always people who really appreciate the art. They appreciate the themes that are being explored. They appreciate the storyline. I can't tell you how many late night conversations I've had at the comic book store where somebody is talking. I just found out about a comic and somebody's spending an hour bringing me up to speed with all of the lore, all of the forks of the comic, how certain characters were revived in order to do something. And it just becomes a fun thing to talk about. I was at a wedding the other day, and just knowing the storyline for different comics or different TV shows makes you somebody interesting to talk to when you go to an event. And ultimately, I think this is what collecting art should be about. It should be about, hey, I really want to share this thing that I'm super into, and I love talking about this storyline because then it gives me an excuse to talk about my theories of the multiverse. Sure, and artwork becomes fertile soil for having all kinds of different conversations grow out of it. And one of the things that I'm really proud about what we're doing with TRESR and our NFC connected merchandise is the ability to bring these conversations from the digital world into the real world, because merchandise is really a flag that we wear to say, hey, this is something about me that I want you to know. And when I'm at my co-working space, if I wear my Bach t-shirt, you better believe somebody's going to come up to me and be like, what's Bach Bach? And at first I'm going to say, that's the sound a chicken makes. And then they immediately laugh. But then I get to talk about all of these chicken related NFT and crypto projects that I'm in. And I get to share with them how this is actually connected to the blockchain. There's a digital twin certificate of authenticity that verifies that it came from the author. And then I get to tell them about my vision and our community's vision for all of these community connection tools that will be created from that. The reason I bring it up is because in your story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it starts as this very small thing. There's not even a community. It's just two guys having some beers. And ultimately, over time, they meld those ideas into something physical that other people can buy and share and showcase in the real world. And this gave that project the right legs, where they started to get introduced to the right people. Here's a comic book publisher. Here's somebody who can do an animated series. And so the community slowly grows over time. An NFT project is basically taking that networking process of connecting dots backwards so that you can create something really cool. And it's pouring fuel on it. It's hyper connecting people through both digital and physical means. And so we, over the last month, have been working with TRESR's lead designer, Jordan, in order to take some of your visual concepts and turn that into a physical merchandise collection and some unique trading cards that are all connected to the blockchain. And in the future, will open up future functionality. So do one of you guys want to talk a little bit about what we've been developing and maybe tease some of the things that are coming down the pipeline there?
What I want to mention is that a lot of the opportunities that we are finding is the work of Jem. So I work a lot on the creative part and on the art side, but Jem is the one that connects all the dots, as you mentioned. And he always has these amazing ideas. And well, being able to have these real life items, it's one of our main goals, because it's trying to have all the collector's experience in a way. You have the NFTs, but you have the physical cards, but you have the comics. So we're trying to keep that focus and try to bring all the different items that we could.
Yeah, and to add to that, like, there's a phrase that I like to use. We're trying to create the ultimate collector's experience. It's not just an NFT. We've got 8 characters within our collection, not just one character. There's 8 different characters. There's actually 9 different characters, but one of them's a doppelganger from the first universe and the second universe, that's Dingo and Cooper. Same person, different. And then obviously we've got the partnership with Lab 91 with FLD TRESR, which we're airdropping to our holders. And then we've got the digital comic, which you get access to. We're also talking to people about getting that first edition printed in a limited edition version. Then we've connected with TRESR, which I'm just very grateful that we aligned paths that way. It just happened in a wonderful way. So now, yeah, like you said, getting your hands on the artwork and merchandise of what Chicken Law's been working on, I can actually wear it and take it to events. And then you've got the NFC chips, which then connect people from having an item to be able to scan the item, and then it's there on our website, or it's there being able to see our collection, and they're able to then mint an NFT, or however we do it. There's so many options, and it's so new, and I think there's so many ways that this can evolve, and I'm excited to see how we can evolve as a partnership as well with the ideas that we've got, because onboarding people from Web 2, if it's as easy as giving them a trading card or a t-shirt that they can scan with the phone, and it's bam, you've got access to our digital comic now. Welcome to it. Here's a Telegram link. Join the community. You're joining more than just an NFT collection. You're joining a family. You're joining an innovative project that's trying new things out, of trying to bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3, whilst also showcasing an immersive kind of experience. And yeah,
I love it. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and being willing to work with us, because obviously we're still in the early stages of growing our product and the way that we're distributing it. And the partners that we're looking for are looking for experimentation. They're looking to try things and see what works. And I think that we're both in the same camp, where we rely on our communities to tell us what's working and what's not working. And our projects are designed so that we can pivot in the direction of what's working and double down on those things. And I just got off a call with our new COO, Andrew, where we were talking about some of the functionality that we want to bolt onto the NFC chip so that projects like you can utilize it. And there's going to be, in the future, all kinds of interesting mechanisms for delivering content, for connecting community members, being rewarded for going to different events, wearing your ASO gear. This merchandise is going to be gamified in such a way where it's going to become a really fun thing, like almost like a digital passport, where you can go around and start earning badges for doing certain things. Maybe at some point we send out a bunch of stickers, and if you're posting photos of slapping that sticker on a Taco Bell drive-thru, then maybe there's a point system connected to that. Because in many ways, when it comes to an NFT project, especially when it's a comic-based project and driving towards a physical delivery of that comic, the initial project lore obviously draws people in and it creates fodder for conversation. But there's also community lore that starts to form. Oh man, can you remember when Jim did that thing at that event? Remember when such and such went and put all those stickers on the city hall door? Like whatever it is, like there's lore that lives at various levels of the project. And what we want to do at TRESR is give a mechanism for capturing all of that, rewarding all of that, and connecting people together in a more salient way. And so I'm really excited about this being the initial seed with this introduction of merchandise and trading cards to be able to in the future engage that retroactively at a bigger level. And I'm curious for you, obviously we see somebody like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you could argue that they launched in the right time when there was only 4 TV channels and they were able to capture maximum attention.
Sure.
And maybe you can still do that, or maybe you can't do that. I would say that maybe something like Minecraft has still captured that type of attention in the modern age. And so I still think that there are opportunities to do it. But one of the things that makes a project infinitely more viral is having a physical nature to it. One of the things that we see all the time with the projects that we work with is when somebody has their NFT on a trading card or on a hoodie or something, they're infinitely less likely to go and floor that NFT because they don't want to be at a party wearing that NFT and be like, actually, I floored this NFT. And so in many ways, physical merchandise bonds a community together a little bit more. It makes people refocus on the artwork. Oh, that's right. I'm in this project because I really appreciate what the artist has done. And it allows people to have conversations about the project outside of the digital telescope that we all live in. It's so much more fun to meet somebody in the real world and be able to talk about something that you're passionate about. And that's one of the things that I love about co-working is that every day I go in with a different crypto project on my shirt. And every day people walk up to me while I'm getting coffee and ask me, okay, what's this one about? And it's such a fun way to share that. And I'm really excited for the ASO community to be able to do that. And for the TRESR community to become a part of your community and be able to raise a banner in that way. So maybe we could talk a little bit about one of the things that we want to do to a merger of communities in so many ways. And right now, you guys are right up at around 30% of your mint. There's a couple thousand more NFTs available. And there's a few different ways that we want to reward both your community and the TRESR community. So once this video goes live in the Discord, we're going to take a track of how many ASO NFTs have been minted. And then the next 100 NFTs that get minted, we're going to take half of that, which is one AVAX, and you're going to use that to buy TRESR and AVAX and add LP into our bonus pool and our DeFi game. You already have a TRESR key. You're already a part of our community in many ways. And so that key plus your LP is going to start earning TRESR rewards, and we'll see where we go from there. I think that's going to be a really cool activation and a way for your community to get exposure to the TRESR ecosystem and our community to get exposure to. But you guys have a really interesting dashboard that when I mint an NFT, it fills in a blank of 8 different characters. And one of the goals that you have for your community is to try to collect all 8 characters, which requires that you're going to have to mass mint some of these things. I keep minting, trying to fill up this board because I'm OCD as a collector. Like, I have to fill in every single gap. And one of the cool things that we've decided to do is there's going to be a VIP box set that's available to people who collect all 8 of these cards. So, Chicken Lord, do you want to tell us a little bit about that and the intention behind it?
Similar to the comic concept, all of us have had at some point of our life an album, a sticker album. For me, it was a way to bring that concept to the project. A lot of times you buy an NFT and you cannot display it if on OpenSea or any other marketplaces. So one of the things that we wanted from the start is to be able to display the empty album at the beginning. So on the launch day, I remember, I think it was BT asking me, why did you put this like this? And after he minted, he was like, oh, I get it. Now I want all to fill all the spaces. So that's more or less the idea, that you could buy more NFT, you could start trading with your community members to try to fill your collection. The collection of the NFT, you will have the digital version of the comics, you will have the physical version, you will have your t-shirts, you will have all the different aspects. And as you are mentioning, it will bring you more into the experience. I always remember an Atari video game that it was called Sword Quest. You know, that game was mind-blowing because it was very simple in the way that it was Atari era. It was basically squares on the screen. But when you buy the game, you receive a comic book, a t-shirt, and I think the game. So when you play it, at some point you will get like codes, and the codes bring you to hidden messages on the comic. But it does not end there. You had to do some stuff with prime numbers, and then the Atari company will bring you to the final competition with the guys that get the code right, and they make them solve a new version of the game in a special contest. And they offer real life prizes, that it was like a real life sword made of gold and silver with diamonds and stuff. It was like $250,000 worth of the prizes just for, it was like a Cali's, Philosopher's Stone and stuff like that. There were 4 different steps of this game. It was fire, earth, water, and air. Yeah, but then the crisis of the video game of the 83 stroke with the infamous ET game, and all that competition ended in drastically. And that's something that I want to replicate at some point, because ASO, I want to keep building this. Like, it does not end with the storyline that we want to publish. The idea is to keep moving forward. I love the bad guy. I want to see a special storyline about him after I don't know what happened at the end with him, but I want to see his adventures. Everybody wants to see the adventures of Darth Vader. We all know what happens to Luke, but everybody wants to know the story of Darth Maul. They are the coolest characters, the bad guys. And one of the things that I want to print into these characters is not make them one dimension. Oh, this is good. This guy is good. This is always good. I want the bad guy to be bad, but also have their own motivation, their own fears. And that allows us to people will in the community, that some people love the bad guy, some people love the panda, some people love the chicken. Everybody loves the chicken, but having these different characters allows you to pick the one that you love. So that's the magic behind it.
Yeah. And I think the sticker board be having this gamified mechanism to collect all the characters. One, it means that you actually have to get to know these characters and understand them. So then the storyline in the comic, 1, makes more sense, and 2, is more meaningful. But 2, it really does create a tighter knit community because, okay, these are the people in the community that really went gung-ho. They got all of these characters, and those people really want to see the project succeed. And if you're one of the whales in a project that was able to get all 8 of those characters, you basically get that talking point of saying, I'm supporting a small independent comic right now, and I'm doing everything that I can to bring it to the light of day. And that's where somebody like me wants to go to the comic book store that I go to and share it with them and be like, you got to see this, and see if we can try to find some way to do a limited run there. And, you know, what I love about digital artwork is that it is such a great way to connect like-minded and like-hearted people from all over the world. And then you can organize in the real world around events, around conferences, around these product distributions, and you can connect these people that never should have been connected. And yet, because of somebody's shared vision of an artwork, shared meaning behind what they saw in the art, all of a sudden we get to have these really unique experiences. I can't tell you how many people I've met in the NFT world where we all just love some quirky character in an NFT project, and our backgrounds are different, our careers are different, our ages are different, but this is my vibe tribe because we all resonated with this visual story. And I'm really excited for the next evolution of Another Space Odyssey, because I really think that this physical merch is going to launch us into the era where we can start to do meetups like that. And there can be this community affinity that bridges the digital physical line. Jim, you planning an event, or what are we doing?
Oh man, I'd love to. Like I said, I've known Chicken for a few years, and we've never got to meet in person. We've got all these events. He went to this summit last year in Buenos Aires, and I was like, damn, I want to go there. There's one in London this year. That's my home country, but I just won't be able to make that this time. There's talks about going NFT NYC. We're going to try and make that happen. That would be awesome to go there, and I think you're going there as well, aren't you, John?
Yep.
Oh, man, yeah, if we could meet up there and with some of the
there's endless events in this space, and I don't think there's any reason to rush it. When the timing is right, the timing is going to be right, and we'll fork ourselves into a universe where it makes sense. But what I think is interesting about the way that you both want to adopt this physical merchandise, and the reason that you're interested in the NFC technology is that it does create a tighter knit loop in the community, and it does create this future potential that maybe didn't exist in as meaningful or a potent a way just a few weeks ago, because now we have these nodal points in the real world that act as billboards for the project, and you never know who you're going to meet at your comic book store, who you're going to meet at your co-working space. Now, whether we can all get together at an event or not, we can say, hey, ASO community, if you go to the Bitcoin conference, if you go to NFT NYC and you wear your ASO gear, we're going to offer points or some kind of reward, or we have a mechanism now for collecting UGC content, which we can use in order to tell this story more widely. And so there's a lot of opportunities that I think get baked into our partnership together. I'm getting excited just thinking about what the ripple effect of this could look like. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do a longer form interview with the two of you is that I think in the digital space, in NFT, let me flip for a profit as quick as I can. A lot of times I think we forget that behind every human behind every wallet is a human. And these are creative people. These are intentional people. And as I've explored Another Space Odyssey, I just love the intentionality that has gone into it. And I think that the spark is there. And if we as a community can come together and pour fuel on that, we can have that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style experience. And whatever that looks like for us, whether it means an event somewhere in the future or a full-blown international comic book series, it's less important that we know the specifics of where we end up in the future, and more important that we get to enjoy the path of creating it together.
Beautifully said. I couldn't have put it any better. It's all about the foundation, and that's what we're doing. All we can do is what is in front of us right now. We've got all these visions, all these dreams, and it's definitely there in the forefront, and it's definitely something we stay focused on. But step by step and one by one, and each partnership and each interaction that you make and each piece of the jigsaw puzzle that we're putting together, that's what we're trying to accomplish, is just trying to take it step by step. This partnership with you guys is another huge step in the evolution of ASO. I already knew that merchandise and physical items would enhance our experience, but now with you guys, what you're offering with the NFC chips, being able to add extra layers to the already extra layers, we're like an onion, and a universal onion with loopholes and black holes that just keeps recycling, and there's so many options and opportunities. It's not just a regular onion. This has got some portals,
multi-dimensional onion.
Oh, for sure. And that's how I see ASO as well. It starts off, when you start looking at it, you just see it on the surface, NFTs, all that. But when you actually like have these conversations and you can see the kind of paths and different routes that it can take, there's a lot of different paths and there's a lot of different routes. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how it can evolve. And man, if we miss these events coming, there's going to be more. We've got to dream bigger, and I really do hope that one day, I believe one day we can come together and create our own event and invite people and partners and people that have supported us along this journey and host an insane event, get all of the merch there, posters and whatever else we've got out at that time, the trading cards, and just bring people together and just, yeah, have a common interest in, yeah, and just connect with people, and then finally get to meet Chicken Lord and give him a big cuddle.
For sure. We all need that. We need to attach some kind of a reward system to Chicken Lord Hug. One of the things that I'm excited about it is I think a lot of times when in the NFT world, sometimes it's hard to break out of the noise, or you really have to lay some roots before and fertilize those seeds before they start to grow. And so the people who keep doubling down are the ones that end up winning. But with what you're doing, I think there's also a huge opportunity to take this decentralized community that you're forming and direct those attentions towards the regular Web 2 comic book world. Because I'm envisioning a time in the future where everybody has their ASO gear and we geo-lasso Comic-Con and we say, okay, everybody show up to Comic-Con, wear your Another Space Odyssey gear, bring your giant chicken, and if you scan it inside the geo-lasso at Comic-Con, we're going to give you these rewards, or you're going to enter a raffle, and then you can win this prize. And now you've got 100 people. Can we get 1,000 people walking around Comic-Con all wearing Another Space Odyssey gear? Like, that's the type of thing that takes the community that you guys are building and puts it on steroids, and it automatically starts to connect dots that allow bigger merchandising deals to happen, publishing deals to happen, you getting into the right room with the right producers. And it really is one of those things where it's a 7 degrees to such and such. There's a game here in the United States called 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. You could probably hop 7 people that you know and get to Kevin Bacon. And that's one of the things that I think is most inspiring about Web3 and NFT projects, is that it shortens the loop of how we get to the right contact to make something happen. And I think that merchandise is the next step into taking these online conversations and bringing them into the real world so that the right connections can happen in the right time, and we will fork into the universe where Another Space Odyssey is a big success. With that said, it's 2 AVAX to mint one of these. There's a sticker board where you need to fill it up with all 8 in order to get this unique VIP box set that's going to have a t-shirt, a trading card, some other redacted stuff that I can't talk about. But there's definitely goodies involved for people who want to try to collect all 8 and to get involved in the ASO community, maybe trade with some people, place offers in the NFT marketplaces. Is there anything that I missed that we should talk about, or anything that you want to share with the TRESR community or the ASO community before we drop off this call?
One thing for me is, regardless if you've got all 8 characters or if you've got 1, you're still welcome in ASO. You're still going to get access to everything that we're building, our digital comic, our community. You're not thought less of a member, even if you've got 1 or you've got 4. You're still going to get rewarded for your support. We've already airdropped one time already to all ASO holders, regardless of if you've got 8 or not. We are going to be dynamically changing that as we progress, but we still aim to reward holders with whatever way we can to keep it fair. But obviously, those who are really putting the neck out and they're trying to get all 8 characters and they're invested in our projects, more than just financially, it's an emotional and supportive investment. We want to reward them, and yeah, the gift box is going to be insane. I'm excited to finally reward those people who are out there. And there's only
140
chickens in the whole of our 3,333 collections. Yeah, they're very hard to come by. Try and get yourself a chicken. Otherwise, we're going to do, like you say, we do swap meets in our Telegram where people can come together, meet other people in the community, like all over the world. We've got people from everywhere in the Telegram, and they just come together. We have a laugh. We share our screens, show what characters we like, and people just have the trust system with them to, yeah, I'll swap for that, and they transfer it back. And that's the kind of energy that's in there. It's just a nice vibe. So yeah, anyone who's looking to join a community with open arms, who's interested in this kind of world, you're welcome. We're gonna open the doors for you. Anyone who wants to collect all 8, I highly recommend it. It's a fun experience, and every character that Chicken Lord's done, I think he did honestly 8 characters with 500 traits. It was like a combination of, I can't even say the number of what combination, and then we compacted it into 3,333. So even though it's the same characters over and over again, the traits and the combinations are insane. And yeah, every mint is more magic being brought into the universe. Yeah, that's all I wanted to add on that side of things.
Maybe I can add like a trivia. You know that our chicken, the sound that he does is cheap. And I got inspiration from that, from the movie The Room.
Chicken, Peter, you just a little chicken. Chip, 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 chip.
From Tommy Wiseau, there is a scene when he gets mad and start doing chicken chip. So that's why this chart, there is also a meme and a GIF and everything, but that's why our chicken does that.
I love that. We're getting the exclusive story behind the. Now, also, Jem just got me super FOMO'd on that chicken. Only 250. I definitely am going to have to try to snag one of those.
Well, a lot of what you will see on the characters, it's inspired on Alien, on Star Wars, on even musicians like David Bowie. There are a ton of reference there. You have Rambo, you have Kano from Mortal Kombat, you have the Ninja Turtles. There are infinite amount of reference there.
I love it. Gentlemen, I really appreciate you taking the time to unpack the project with me. I think what you've built, the way that you put it together, the website, the sticker board to collect all 8, the digital comic, where even as you turn the comic, you see the page turn and you can hear the page turn as if it's a physical. And then all of the future plans really sound cool. And I'm excited that I've minted and gotten into the community, that we're being able to do some physical merchandise and starting to think about the gamification and post-scan experiences for that. That'll be an ongoing thing. Plus, we're going to be doing some redacted marketing. There's going to be some items that we're helping with that allows for Another Space Odyssey characters to follow people around the internet. I won't say more there. I've already said too much, but if you are interested in taking part in a really cool project that I think has a cool storyline, a really genuine down-to-earth community, and the potential to turn into something that gets birthed into comic book stores all over the world, definitely head over to the Another Space Odyssey website. I will put the links below, and I will also put some of the dates and timelines for when some of the merchandise is planning on rolling out below. Some of that is going to remain redacted. It'll be a surprise. But what I love about everything that I've learned from working with the two of you as we've done the merchandise designs is that you're always putting community first. Every time we do something, you're like, how can we reward the community more? What else could we throw in? And that's been really refreshing and heartening in a space that oftentimes is just a zero-sum game where it's let's max extract value. I really appreciate how you're looking to go above and beyond for your community. So thanks for being here. I'm going to mix and match this all together, edit it together for max impact. We'll cut in some of the website. We'll cut in some of the NFT. We'll cut in some of the videos. And I think this is going to be a really fun partnership between our two communities. So I appreciate the trust, guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Jon.
All right.
I appreciate all your time and your energy, and just even, making the space for this call. It's something we definitely needed, is someone like yourself. And I'm just grateful that we connected and we got to do this. And another idea I had, NFC tip. So if you cuddle together from the same community with the t-shirts, same kind of token, you cuddle, your tips touch each other. And boom.
We're going to be in a constant cuddle puddle because people are going to be trying to gamify those points.
Everyone just walking around cuddling. Maybe you can put a maximum limit on the cuddle of per person hugging.
We can't put a limit on cuddle time.
That's true, yeah. Just Chicken Lord getting all these cuddles and just tipping everyone. I love it.
All
Such
right,
a good
gentlemen.
idea.
I'm really excited. Oh, there's the chicken. I'm really
Nice.
excited. I'm really excited about everything that we've got in the pipeline and to being able to help you guys expand your community. So until we do another one, we'll see you in the multiverse.
Thanks.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Are we recording? As I was saying, we have to save the universe and free it from the forces of evil.
Yeah, the Despians are a threat. They have ruled from the shadows for quite some time now. Fighting Despians would be easier if Dingo's feet didn't smell so bad. Yep, and we have a bear on the ship!
My feet? Do they smell like cheese? No, it's the bear that smells. And it gets worse when he farts in the cabin.
You are the one who farts
What?
in the cabin. We have to travel to the edge of the universe to find the solution to the loop, the cosmic phenomenon that resets all existence. What a loop! We may have a chance this time. That is all, right?
Damn it!
Dingo!
It was the bear!
Gross!